Hello, everyone. This is your host, Sergeant First Class Arslan Khan with the Warrant Officer Recruiting Company. And today we'll be exploring the 350 Golf Warrant Officer Military Occupation Specialty. Our special guest is CW2 Rieber, and he is the GEOINT OIC for the 1st Special Forces Group at JBLM. He'll be talking to us about what it means to be a warrant officer in the 350 Golf Warrant Officer Specialty. Chief, thank you so much for joining us today, and we are excited to hear your input on all the different ways the 350 Golf Warrant Officer MOS contributes to mission accomplishment.
Glad to be here. Thank you for hosting us.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences as a warrant officer and how you feel about serving in your warrant officer specialty?
I currently serve as the GEOINT OIC for 1st Special Forces Group at Joint Base Lewis McChord. Prior to that, I served as a collection manager for the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, with deployments to Iraq in 2016 and Afghanistan in 2018. During those deployments, I worked with Air Force, Navy, Marines, as well as numerous military personnel from Australia, UK, New Zealand, and Germany, just to name a few. While in Iraq, our collections team consisted of Army, Air Force, and Royal Air Force personnel. We were responsible for coordinating ISR and other collection efforts to support the Iraqi push north through the country to secure river crossings near Khiara and the eventual isolation and assault into Mosul. We supported targeting in the deep fight, as well as maneuver elements in the close fight of Iraqi forces as they engaged ISIS. At 1st Special Forces Group, our focus is supporting efforts throughout the PACOM AOR to include our subordinate battalions, efforts in Afghanistan, and with partner forces throughout the Pacific. I enjoy serving in my field as it is a fairly technical field and gives you the chance to solve problems that other intel disciplines may not be able to.
Thank you, sir. For the potential applicant listening, we've asked questions that most of us have when deciding to pursue a career as a 350 Golf warrant officer. And we would like to delve into some of these questions and get your take on some of the most crucial questions we all want to know. Let us begin by asking, what do warrant officers in your specialty do in a normal span of a duty day when they start out as a new warrant officer in the cohort, and how do those responsibilities evolve into more responsibilities later on?
Every location is different in regards to what a normal day may look like. Some locations, such as the 116th MI Brigade or the 513th MI Brigade at Fort Gordon, may involve warrant officers being responsible for ensuring missions are properly supported and RFIs are answered, verifying reports or products that are created are correct, properly QC'd, and returned to the customers. While at a division, you may find yourself preparing for a combined arms rehearsal for a warfighter. Where I am now, my day usually consists of seeing what RFIs we have to complete and enabling my soldiers to complete those tasks. Some days we are setting up equipment to ensure everything still works properly, and other days we are running training for our soldiers to continue to cross-train them within the GEOINT field. Your responsibilities will grow as you move around as well. I don't spend as much time as I want to simply being an analyst anymore. I find myself having to deal with equipment fieldings, ensuring training budgets are allocated, coordinating training, as well as troubleshooting maintenance issues for our equipment and our subordinate elements' equipment as well.
Thank you, sir. That was really great advice. As a young staff sergeant working in one of your shops there, what advice would you give them on what types of jobs they need to start working towards in their enlisted careers that will help them to achieve a commission as a 350 Golf warrant officer?
Any job that allows you to be responsible for running a mission, the more chances you have to lead soldiers supporting a mission allows you to understand what is required for that mission to be successful. You're going to have issues and make mistakes, but learn from them to make sure that your mission is successful. Take jobs that are outside of your comfort zone. Collection management is one of those roles that GEOINT warrant officers perform at the division and corps level. Some people don't like working collections as it takes them from working in the back offices and put them in front of the entire staff and command team for briefings, and they have to be responsible for a plan that supports the efforts of your commander.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your insight. What types of training can a young enlisted NCO benefit from when considering to pursue a career in 350 Golf Warrant Officer Military Occupation Specialty, sir?
Training that allows you to expand your overall knowledge base within the GEOINT field. You can't allow yourself to be only well trained in one area. Some people only focus on supporting FMVPED and don't expand out. Others only focus on imagery work and not geospatial or map making side of things. I train the soldiers in my shop to be interchangeable as much as possible. The 12 Yankees will exploit imagery and write reports, and the 35 Gulfs will create map products. The more knowledge they have, the better the shop can perform.
Thank you. That's really great advice, sir. What is the most common mistake made by applicants applying to the cohort, and how can it be avoided?
Listening to friends about the process instead of the recruiting team. I can provide insight into how I filled out my packet, and I will gladly look over any packet. But any soldier that wants to become a warrant officer needs to find their local recruiting team and speak to them. They can provide insight into trends and any current issues that can be avoided.
Thank you, sir. Once an applicant is selected, how long do they attend Warrant Officer Candidate School, and how long is the training for a 350 Golf Warrant Officer specialty?
Once a soldier is selected, they will attend walks for about 5 weeks and will graduate as W01. Upon completion of walks, they will attend the Warrant Officer Basic Course at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, which is about 3 months long. You will spend several weeks at WOBIC together with the other Intel warrants, and then you will split off for your individual MOS track portion. When I went through WOBIC, it was myself and one other 350 Golf Warrant Officer. The class behind me had 4 people in it, so we have small classes compared to the other MOS fields.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What advice would you give to a newly selected NCO in your unit on how to prepare for Warrant Officer Candidate School and the Warrant Officer training they're about to conduct?
Prepare yourself physically. I don't recall too many days at walks in which the PT was difficult, but prepare yourself to pass the ACFT at the beginning and the ruck march during the course. My class lost about 6 or 7 people from the PT test and 1 or 2 more from injuries during the walk march. Also, take the distance learning aspect seriously. If you fail a test from the distance learning, it counts as a failure at walks as well. If you have another academic issue at walks, you run the risk of being recycled to another class. Remember, it's only a few weeks long. You will have more issues with your peers trying to learn to get along with each other in a stressful environment than you will with walks itself. When it's your time to lead, then lead. If you are playing a supporting role, then support your fellow candidates.
Once you've been trained and pinned on as a warrant officer, do you have any input on where you will be stationed? And what is the process for selecting a duty station?
I don't recall when I had input into my first assignment as a warrant officer, but I currently have a soldier that is in walks, and he received an email from his branch manager with several duty stations available to him. He ranked those slots and received one of his higher choices. My last PCS was using the AIM portal and ranking my choices. This process is supposed to allow warrant officers to see what slots are open to them based on their rank, and then they can contact those units for essentially what is an interview in order for the unit to, in turn, rank them. And based on that, they can try to get a particular duty station.
When approaching your unit, officer in charge, and your senior warrant officer for a letter of recommendation, what steps should an NCO take to position themselves in receiving a stellar letter of recommendation, sir?
Have an open and honest discussion with your commander about what you want to do with your career. Also, don't allow your first conversation with the commander to be the one in which you ask for a letter. Every unit is different in how they run operations, but you must make yourself known to the command team or have your OIC set up a meeting with the commander. The same thing goes with the senior warrant. If your OIC is the senior warrant, then that makes it very easy. But if they're not, you need to have a meeting with that senior warrant officer to see about getting a letter. Getting help with your OIC, if needed, because odds are the person you request a letter from will contact your OIC for feedback based on your performance.
Thank you, sir. That's really great advice. What is family life like as a 350 Golf warrant officer, and how can we best take care of our families as we embark on our quest to become a 350 Golf warrant officer?
Family life as a warrant officer is still difficult since the Army requires much of our time. The best way to prepare your family is to be honest with them of any requirements that are coming your way. Deployments, training exercise, and other events are all very time-consuming. And now as a warrant officer, more is expected of you during these events. You're not working your shift and going home after 12 hours anymore.
Thank you, sir. Now, this is a two-part question. When creating your resume, what is the best way to highlight some of the skills you possess And what are the most critical skills to highlight? Furthermore, what are some of the most critical trainings to highlight?
From my standpoint, being able to articulate issues and solve problems is one of the most important skills that you can have. As a warrant officer, you bring a wealth of knowledge to the table for your commander. You are there to support the mission and their efforts. Being able to solve problems that arise from your field or others makes you a valuable member of the team. If you only bring problems to the table and no solutions, you're not helping the organization. You will see plenty of those people in meetings that bring nothing to the fight except issues they can't or don't want to solve. Any training that allows you to expand your knowledge base on systems architecture is valuable. GEOINT analysts understand exploiting imagery is a main role for us, but understanding how we can get that imagery and data from request to approval to being shot and then being available exploitation is becoming increasingly important in a LISCO environment.
Thank you, sir. That was a lot of great information there. What are the best assignments that one can expect to serve in as a 350 Golf warrant officer, sir?
The best duty stations are very subjective. Some people like to go to INSCOM units because they largely get to perform their jobs every single day. Units like the 513th and 500th MI Brigade are focused on a consistent problem set, and those soldiers get the opportunity to become extremely familiar with their AO. Other people enjoy being with FORCECOM elements that directly support the warfighter. The problem sets of these units change often, and you have to adapt to figure out the best way to solve a commander's issue. Each duty station is what you make of it. I enjoyed my time at the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell due to the people that I worked with. As a new W1, personally, I think you should be serving at a division or a corps assignment. Sadly, in the 350 Golf field, we have limited positions at the division and none at the BCT level. Working these assignments, you get a better understanding of how to support maneuver elements than you would anywhere else. This information will benefit you when you work at a unit that is detached from the fight.
Thank you, sir. What are some of the most important certifications and training experiences warrant officers should pursue in the course of their career in this warrant officer military occupation specialty, and why?
Again, whatever expands your knowledge on systems architecture or activity-based intelligence. ABI is one way to approach intelligence problems by analyzing different events and activity in regards to space and time. You can utilize ARC or other geospatial programs to assist with this type of problem set. We've used ABI in the counter-terror fight for a while now, and we're adapting the process to use it to solve our own intel problems out in the PACOM region.
Thank you, sir. Sir, on the subject of promotions, starting from W1, how long will it take in this warrant officer military occupation specialty to progress through each rank to reach, let's say, CW3?
After you complete walks and you pin W01, you will remain a W01 for 2 years, and then you'll promote to CW2. While this is largely an automatic promotion, there can be instances in which an individual doesn't promote. This is largely due to negative behavior by the warrant officer, either drugs or alcohol-related issues. When I was promoted from W1 to CW2, I saw most of the names from my walks class, but not everybody. From CW2 to CW3, a soldier will complete 4 years time and grade before the promotion board, and if selected, will usually be promoted around their date of rank when they became W01. So roughly 5 years from promotion to CW2, they will be promoted to CW3.
Chief, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your insight on 350 Golf warrant officer military occupation specialty. We truly appreciate your insight in all of the areas that we've asked for, and that's all the questions we have for you today. For our listeners out there, if you're considering a career as a 350 Golf, all I say is go warrant now.